Endeavour, the ship and the attitude that changed the world, by Peter Moore. Read by Ric Jerrom. It is pleasing to contemplate a manufacture rising gradually from its first mean state by the successive labours of innumerable minds, to consider the first hollow trunk of an oak, in which, perhaps, the shepherd could scarce venture to cross a brook swelled with a shower, enlarged at last into a ship of war, attacking fortresses, terrifying nations, setting storms and billows at defiance, and visiting the remotest parts of the globe. Samuel Johnson, The Rambler, 17th of April, 1750. Prologue. Endeavours of the Mind. In February 1852, the British writer John Dix stepped on board the Empire State, a steamship bound from New York to Newport, Rhode Island. About 40 years old, Dix had spent several years roaming across the United States, scenting out colourful stories that he could write up as travel sketches. Many of these were printed in article form by the Boston Atlas, while collections were packaged together and sent back to Britain under the byline "A Cosmopolitan," or, enticingly, "An eminent literary gentleman on the other side of the Atlantic." Dix had spent the winter in Brooklyn, New York. A tireless wind had blown south from the Great Lakes, cutting about the shoulders of walkers on the street. For the second consecutive year, the East River had frozen, becoming a carpet of ice that capped the black waters where the herring and harbour seals swam. Several brave souls had ventured across to Manhattan Island, that great wilderness of marble and mortar, the abode of merchant princes and millionaires. Dix had been charmed. It was beautiful, he wrote, beautiful even in its robes of frost and snow, and every street of it musical with the sound of jingling sleigh bells. Only in late February were the biting northerlies replaced by the soft thaw winds of spring. It was around then that Dix read in a New York paper that the ice in Long Island Sound was breaking apart. At last, presented with a chance of escape, Dix had walked to the harbour and purchased a ticket to Newport. His plan was to seize the earliest opportunity of visiting a friend in the coastal state and, hopefully, root out some fresh copy. At 4 that afternoon, as the sun was sinking behind the Hudson, he heard the merry chime of the pier bell. A loud twang rang out from the Empire State's engine-room. A puff of black smoke filled the air, and almost noiselessly the huge double-chimneyed vessel glided from the shore. Dix had come to America to start anew. His promising early career in literary London, launched by a heart-touching biography of the child poet Thomas Chatterton, had been blemished by addiction to alcohol. This vice had cost him friends and injected an erratic quality into his journalism, bringing him a reputation as a fabulist. His revival had begun well. In the United States he had embraced the temperance movement and exploited his position as an outsider, casting a wry English eye over a youthful nation. In 1850 he had published Loiterings in America, and in early 1852 was embarking on a fresh collection of travellers' tales. This would turn out to be a compendium of American scenes, accounts of hearing Daniel Webster address 100,000 in Philadelphia. He forcibly reminded me of Sidney Smith's pithy description of him, a steam engine in breeches. A trip to Connecticut, the Yankee state par excellence, to meet Samuel Griswold Goodrich. Then an
Sample complete. Ready to continue?